Hey, Power Couple Hub, welcome to another session on masculinity. As always, I'm super excited to be here bringing you some more information on this topic. It probably because it is so personal to me, because of my history, because of my upbringing as a child, because of some things that happened to me in, kind of middle age. My masculinity has taken some big hits. The masculine core of my identity has taken some big hits over the years and was really underdeveloped in a lot of areas. I was able to kind of fake it through athletics or even fake it in my career in law enforcement. And I would even say to some degree my career in the offshore oil industry, which is this manly environment. It allows me to be a pretender on the outside in my work or employment environment, whereas the essence of me that comes out in relationships, that's where the lack of masculine strength has for a long, long time been exposed. So going through this study and learning these things has been actually edifying for me and helpful for me as well. So I hope that, well, first of all, I hope that you guys don't have some of the same history that I do, but I hope it is at least as edifying and fruitful for you to go through this process as well. So today, continuing on this theme of discussing things related to masculinity, I want to build on where we've been in the past. First month, we talked about the fact that masculine energy is action-oriented and confident, and that those two being, kind of task-driven and checking off things on our to-do list, being effective in getting things done, action-oriented, builds confidence, and that those two have this reciprocal relationship. And it is the confidence that then allows us to take on bigger and more meaningful tasks. And that's a very masculine trait, very masculine energy that we work in as we are checking off items on our to-do list. In fact, that was the activation that I gave you. Create and manage, actively manage a to-do list. And as you check things off, celebrate those as victories and as wins. Feel your confidence being elevated, and then add more, bigger, more difficult, more challenging tasks to that to-do list. It's a reciprocal relationship that will build on each other. Then we follow that up with the fact that the masculine energy is strong, active, and physical. We need to be intentional in always attempting to increase, or at the very minimum maintain, our physical capabilities, our strength, our mobility, our flexibility, because the masculine energy is a physical energy. We need to have the ability and the confidence that comes with knowing that we can get physical tasks done. You don't have to be He-Man and Superman, but you have to know that you are capable of performing physical tasks. And in this day and age, in the modern day and age, it is so easy to become a couch potato. Muscles atrophy, cardiovascular, just decreases, and we just kind of fall into poor health without realizing it. So the activation for last month's training was develop a fitness plan, a health and fitness plan, and then engage in it. Whatever level you are at, whether it's going to the gym and pumping iron, or doing Pilates or yoga, or even just committing to walking and being active and moving your body, keeping your body supple and fluid and flexible and mobile and strong. So building on those two, I want to talk today about the fact that masculine energy is disciplined. The masculine is marked by discipline. We can see that reflected in the first two sessions, where keeping and maintaining a to-do list or creating a fitness plan and adhering to it requires discipline. And that both of those, when we are disciplined in operating in them, builds confidence. That reciprocal relationship exists with both. But today, I want to talk about a different aspect of discipline. It's not so much the discipline in getting things done, but the discipline in things not done. And what I mean by that is that I want to talk about the masculine practice of exercising restraint in our life. There are things that I could do, things that I could allow in my life, things that I could participate in that are not always in my best interest, that maybe get in the way of achieving some of my goals, that possibly keep me from realizing my best possible self or coming into alignment with my God-given identity. Things that are just not good for me, right? And a masculine energy operating in its strength will be disciplined in its exercising of restraint for those things that may be pleasurable, but are not efficacious. That's a weird word. They're just not helping me get to where I really want to be, where I need to be, where God wants me to be. So I want to ask you this month, I want everyone to spend some time thinking about, meditating, contemplating what are some areas in my life where I allow certain things in, or I participate in certain things, I allow certain things into my life, or engage in certain practices that are just not in my best interest. I want you to think about those and create a list. There could be only 2 or 3. There might be 10. I don't know. Create a list of the things that you know you need to do less of, or you need to remove from your life altogether. I would then suggest having a discussion perhaps with your spouse, and opening up to them and get their input on those things on your list. And maybe the two of you then at least narrow down your list to a minimum of one thing that you want to commit to in a disciplined fashion, and begin exercising restraint in your life by either minimizing those things or eliminating them altogether from your life. What I would like to encourage everyone to do, and I will follow this up with a Facebook post, and I would like for those of you who are comfortable enough with this to identify those things in the group. Identify the one or more things in your life that you are going to begin to exercise restraint against. You're going to remove or minimize from your life and allow this group to become accountability partners for you. It's one thing to make a promise to yourself. I'm going to take something totally hypothetical. Okay, I'm going to quit smoking. All right, I am tired of it. I know it's not good for me. I'm going to quit it. But you don't tell anybody else, just yourself. And quitting smoking, obviously, a very difficult thing. Nicotine, tobacco, highly addictive. It's like trying to quit crack cocaine, for crying out loud. And you may go 1 day, 2 days. You may go 3 days. You may go a week feeling really good about yourself, and then something happens. Boom, you get stressed out and you go back to your crutch and you let yourself down. Think about the hit that your confidence took, your self-confidence, just your feeling of being in control of your life. Think about the hit that it takes when you fail like that. Well, it's pretty scary to let other people in on that failure. And that's why in some of these areas, we keep things to ourselves, because actually we've gotten used to letting ourselves down. We don't want to let down our spouse, and we don't want to let down people in our group. But taking accountability to the highest level means publicly announcing, this is the thing in my life that is not in my best interest that I am going to remove. And I'm telling you all of that so that you all can be aware, and you all can, 1, encourage me, 2, hold me accountable. I'll tell you what mine is. I have learned over the years that I pretty much have a sugar addiction. And it would really hit me when I would go off on the rig, because on that rig for 28 days in a row, I would be faced with a plethora of bakery goods. I mean, this is a working oil rig. It's in operation 24 hours a day. The galley is always cooking. 4 meals in a 24-hour period of time. And in addition to the cooks, they have a full-time baker. And every single day probably puts out 8 dozen cookies, pastries, cinnamon rolls. They make fresh donuts. They make pies and cakes and sweet bakery goods of every kind imaginable. And every day there is a new stash in that one section of the galley that would be my danger zone. And I would go out to the rig time and time again and say, okay, I'm not going to touch a thing in that bakery goods section. And I'd start out a week and I'd be so good. Oh, and then I'd say to myself, wow, I want to celebrate a victory. I want to celebrate by splurging. I'm just going to have a couple cookies. And as soon as I had just one, it was like the Lay's potato chip commercial. You remember that? You can't eat just one. And then it would just be, I'd fall apart. And I would be like a crack addict. I would be back there again. It was terrible. And I felt, literally, I would feel shameful, but I couldn't stop. And what it took for me, this last hitch out, thinking about this teaching that I was going to do today on exercising restraint, I did something kind of extreme. And on a temporary basis, in part, in an attempt to eradicate and even exercise my sugar addiction, exercise like a demonic exorcism, remove it from my body and my spirit and my soul. I went on a strict carnivore diet. Like I'm eliminating all carbohydrates, all. And it's like a super elevated, power charged elimination diet. And I found, amazingly, within the first week on the rig of eating nothing but, protein and healthy fats, I felt my carb cravings diminishing. And that was confidence building. Wow, that was like so exciting for me. I didn't touch one thing. I went through Christmas dinner, and on the rig, they put on a crazy feast for Christmas. I didn't touch a thing. And I was so excited, and I was so happy. I was so proud of myself. So I don't advocate you guys doing anything that extreme. I'm not trying to push that off on anyone. I'm just sharing with you what it took for me to begin to get a handle on something that I needed to exercise restraint on. And up until this point, I had been pretty powerless in tapping into that masculine energy of discipline in my life. So with that, with my own personal sharing of my story, I want to ask you guys again, watch this video, spend some time thinking about yourself and what you need to either minimize or remove from your life as you exercise a higher degree of masculine discipline and exercising restraint on one or more things in your life that are not in your best interest, that are not helping you become the man or the woman of God, the son or daughter, king or queen that you are called to be. What's getting in the way? And then make a commitment to either minimize or eliminate, and then make a public profession. That's not the right word. A public declaration. This is the thing that I am exercising restraint against. And you will find that one, this group is a great resource for encouragement, for accountability, and you'll also find that as you start down and continue down this road, again, that masculine confidence is going to be built stronger and stronger and stronger in you, and you'll begin to exercise more restraint in more areas as you put more things on your to-do list and you double down on your fitness plan, and you find your masculinity really beginning to flourish. So that is it for this month, you guys. Bless you all. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to hearing from all of you in your efforts to exercise restraint.